Hey guys, welcome back to Vince-Vell Custom. So today we're going to do an updated work in progress video on doing a Dark Phoenix statue. Now this is actually Phoenix 2 Rachel Gray custom I'm working on. It's a character I always really wanted to make. It's from the Sideshow Collectibles Catwoman statue. And if you know Rachel Gray from the early Excalibur series back in the day, she was a red outfit with the spikes. And I always liked that character and that look, and I always wanted to make a custom, so I just went ahead and did it. And early in my YouTube videos, when I first started this, I did a work in progress video on painting a Dark Phoenix custom statue from the Claymore Aspen statue. And what I did was chrome silver, clear red, and then I did a clear coat with Future 4 polish. Now, recently, I've been having issues with Future 4 polish. It doesn't coat and work the way it used to. Future was great, and then I think back in the day, then Pledge bought them out, and I think Pledge changed something because it was still a little bit different. It didn't work like it used to. And then recently, within the past couple months, it's August of 2016 right now, I bought a new bottle of the stuff, and my old bottle was still giving me issues, and the new bottle was giving me even more issues. And it's not mixing right with the paint. I'm not getting good clear coats, so I don't like using the stuff anymore because I thought it was just a bad bottle. But I went North Jersey to another store and I bought a bottle there, and it's still giving me the same issue, so I don't even use the stuff anymore. I just use it for my floor in the kitchen now. I won't use it on statues anymore. So Future Pledge floor polish is out the window. I don't use it anymore. It's not even on my paint supplies. I'm looking for other stuff, and I'm always experimenting. So this is just to help you guys out and show you that I don't use that stuff anymore. So now, what my friend got me hooked on was this Duplicolor stuff, and it's really great stuff. There's the barcode and what it is. It's a clear top coat. You get it at an auto parts store. It goes like around here. It's around $7-8 a bottle. If you get it on sale, you get it for around $5. Now this stuff is great. I love it. It really protects your statue to the point where it's almost like a car shell. You know, you can actually almost wax the item if you really want to. But if you're good enough of getting a nice, good clear coat. Now, this stuff is very potent though, so you can't spray this stuff in the house unless you want to get high. And even though I have the spray booth here, as you can see, if I was to spray this even with the booth on and my studio door closed, you still get really bad fumes, and it takes a while for the stuff to get out. So you really want to do this stuff outside. The other thing though is, you don't want to do it outside like on a back patio or out in the grass, because if wind and dust blow onto your statue and stick onto this clear coat, it is not coming out. It's embedded into it. So you want to do this like in a garage where you can blow the fumes out of the garage, but there's no dust and anything blowing all over your item. So that's the good thing. That's the one thing, bad thing about it, but it's also good that you get an amazing clear coat. The other thing too is you got to be careful because it's coming out of the can. Now, you buy a fresh can, you test it on like the back of a wall or on the base. If it's spraying nice and smooth, you got a good can. You make sure you shake it up. There's no like marble in it, so you don't have to worry about that. But you want to make sure that your nozzle's spraying clean, because sometimes you can buy a nozzle and it could be spurting like paint drops all over, and you can screw up your item. You don't want that. And then if you use it long enough, the clear coat can dry up on here in the nozzle and cause issues for you when you spray it down the line. So I like to have a couple fresh bottles on my shelf and a couple old bottles for when I need to do a base or something that it doesn't really matter if the paint spurts, but on an item like this, I want a nice good clear coat and I want it all even. So that's the bad things about it. You got to be careful of, but the good thing is at the end you get a really beautiful clear coat on the item. Now, another thing I've learned is you have to test on anything you're going to do. Test it on an item before you use this stuff, because it can react to certain paints. If you spray too heavily, you can actually bleed your item in your paint, or it can dry and start cracking your item up. So you have to test on stuff. So as on my shelf, I always say, get items and test. So like recently, this item I did clear black. I did a alclad chrome, and then I added into the clear coat of the alclad chrome, which is the aqua, I mixed in some magenta, and then I sprayed this Duplicolor over it just to see what would happen on an item, and then it kind of dulled it down. In the camera, it may look like it's shiny, but it did dull it down a lot compared to what it was. So you got to be careful. Now, the other thing too is like alclad. I think it's their gold. I tested on that item over there on the left side of him, over here. So it dulled down this gold, but this is Alclad chrome with clear yellow from Tamiya, and it works fine on there. So I know that it's going to dull this paint, but it'll be fine on that paint. You know, so it's always a matter of testing this stuff. And as you can see, I always have these items that I'm always testing. Like if you were to like scrape the paint off of here, there'll probably be like 30 layers of paint on that item. So it's kind of just, you know, I just want to point all this stuff out to you compared to my older video. I'm trying to give you as much information as I possibly can just to help you guys out. So this is where I'm at. I'm going to paint up the statue in chrome silver, get all that done, and then I'll do my black shadowing on her, and then I'll do my clear red, and then we'll go into the garage and we'll try to show you as best as possible on how I clear coat her up. If it all works out like I've done in my Harley Quinn videos in the past, you can check those out on my channel. It'll come out a really nice shiny red. It'll give her a really nice pop, and it'll get to the point where you can almost wax the statue. Now, I don't wax your statue, of course, but it's such a good clear coat and so shiny that the stuff is amazing. It works very well, too, on clear resin items. So if you're ever working on a clear resin item and you wanted to color it or just give it a nice, good clear coat, this stuff is phenomenal. So always test. Make sure you're not breathing this shit in, but the end results should come out really great. So going to start working on her. And then I don't know how many parts of this video will be. Maybe 2 parts, maybe 3. We'll see what happens. But the main part is when we get that gloss coat on her, it's going to be great. Now, I don't have to worry about any kind of crazy masking, because if you do mask with this stuff, it will cake up on your silly putty too, to think of it as like on the silly putty, when you stretch the silly putty, it's like if you got a sunburn and your skin starts peeling. That's how it looks like on silly putty, because it's very thick. So you got to be careful when you do masking. So if you were to mask off an area and spray really thick and then break it off, you'll have all little cracking edges. But because her head comes out and I'm focusing on the body, I don't have to worry about any kind of masking, because once I do the clear coat and everything's done, I can mask off these areas, and I can do the mahogany leather on her boots and everything, so I don't have to worry about that stuff. So you got to be careful with this stuff, but like I said, the end result's great. I use it for misting on skin tones too, like from Garage Kit Colors, because it really secures the skin tone, and I'll have another video of that up as well. I'll link that down the line, just to give you guys an idea of how that works out, because you can really, because like Garage Kit Colors are great, but it kind of gets at sometimes very fragile. But misting this in at the end and then dulling it down, you can really protect your paint even stronger. So it's really great stuff. So I've been using this a lot. So, alright, we're going to start painting up the body, get all this silver on her, get the black, then we'll get the red, and then we'll get into the garage when it's a nice cool day out, because it's been very hot and muggy. Don't want to do it in the very hot and muggy, and you don't want to do it in like freezing weather. You got to do it like at perfect temperatures. So hopefully when it cools off in a week or two, maybe I can get out there and we can get her all finished up. So let's start plugging away on her. Okay guys, so I did all this chrome silver, it's all done. I patched up some areas that needed some patching, because even though I prime, sometimes there's areas that I miss. So whenever I do a base coat of a color, I realize that I got to kind of touch up some areas. I might need to touch up one more area, but other than that, she's looking pretty good. There was some mess ups all over this arm because I was always leaning her on her back, and I had to fix that. So the next step is shading gray. From Golden. Now they don't make this anymore. This is airbrush color. Everything now that they have is high flow. So I've never tested the high flow onto Tamiya Chrome Silver and then gloss coated, because I don't know the reaction. It's something I'll have to test once this bottle is out. But you can use other types of blacks if you want. But the idea is just to do enough shading that when you put the red over it all, you're going to get that deep black areas that you would see in like a comic book, but you don't go overboard because you still want the silver to kind of show. So I use this for now, and I know that this works out pretty well. I'm just going to patch up one area over here. I just noticed that I have to fix, and then we'll start doing all the shading gray. And as you'll see, what I'll do is I'll do some shading gray. I might go deeper in some areas with some golden carbon black. This stuff is very potent. It's very, very dark, and you don't want to overspray this stuff. So certain areas I might go a little bit dark, but I'm going to mist back again with the chrome silver. I'm going to do a whole big misting of chrome silver anyway. So let's get all that going. Alright guys, so as you saw, I slowly built up the shading gray to a point where it's fairly dark, but we still got some of the silver showing. Now it's still fairly heavy, so I just kind of want to mist it down going gravity wise, so all the highlights are going to get hit. So I'm not going to spray heavy going straight and then dull all this down. I'm just going to mist coming down this way, so some of this brightens up, but some of the shadows still stay, and then we hit some down there, and then let that sit for a couple days, and then I could do the clear red because this is a side project anyway, and I like to let stuff dry and really cure before I try to rust up, especially something like this, because you definitely want this silver to really be cured before you throw your red on, because if this is super soft and still wet and then you force your red on within the next 20 minutes, and if you mess up or if you actually hit something, you just smear everything, and it takes forever for it to cure because the clear red will start curing the top faster than the underneath will. So you really want to make sure this gets cured and dried up. So we'll do my misting, and then we'll let it sit for a couple days and come back and do the clear red. Okay guys, so I did the misting. It's all looking pretty good. Just got one little mess up over here that I something spurted out of the airbrush and it messed up over there. I gotta fix that. If there's any other spots, which I think there might be, I'm not sure. I'll have to touch up a little spot here or there. But it's looking pretty good. So as you get an idea is you get some nice dark shadows here under the arms. But by misting it coming down, I'm hitting the wrinkles. I'm getting the top areas that, you know, you don't want this all shadow because light is actually still hitting it. So you kind of want to, it's kind of like an eye trick to capture the comic book feel of her with doing it on a 3D sculpt. So you don't want to go too crazy and force it, but you want to kind of have it where this metallic is hitting lights and you're getting your lights and darks, but not going crazy. So as you can kind of see, it brings it out a little bit here and there, and it's working out good. So I'll fix up these two spots and come back in a couple days and we'll do the clear red.